What's going on, beautiful people? It's your girl, Wantaise Davis. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today, we are going to talk about how you can manifest on a deadline, timeline, or you just need to manifest something fast, right? But before we get into the topic, if you are new to my channel, hit that subscribe button. Also hit the notification bell to view all notifications so you will be the first to know when your girl posts another video. So now we have that out of the way. All right, so first things first, how to manifest on a deadline. Okay, so we all know that we are consistently manifesting our thoughts, no matter what, right? So I want to tell you a little story about how I manifested my dream apartment. Very, very interesting. Either way, let me go back. All right, guys, so I know I'm in the car right now. You guys are used to seeing me in my apartment, but I'm in Alpharetta, Georgia. I came to spend some time with my godson and my best friend. And just look around Alpharetta. I love this area. So back to the story. All right, so how do you manifest on a deadline, a timeline? Well, let me tell you a story about how I manifested my dream apartment. One of my dream apartments. I've manifested quite a few of them. So this was 2.5 years ago. I really needed to find a place within 3 weeks. So I had been looking in this certain area and I just couldn't find anything. And I had very specific things that I wanted. I wanted a place that was 20 minutes away from the beach, 20 minutes away from my job. Did I say 20 minutes? 20 minutes away from my job. I also wanted it to be aesthetically pleasing. I wanted to have, stainless steel appliances. I mean, guys, we are manifesting the life that we want, right? So why not be specific about every detail? So yeah, I wanted stainless steel appliances. I wanted a space that was spacious, that had an open floor plan. And I was very specific in terms of how long that particular apartment complex was there. I said no more than 2 years. So it made sense when I had these specific intentions 5 years ago, when I originally wanted to move in this area. That didn't exist, so I didn't manifest it right away. So 2.5 years ago, I said, okay, it's time for me to move, time for me to just, grow a little bit. So I was like, I'm going to go back and look in this area. So I didn't necessarily go and look physically in the car, but I just kind of looked online, couldn't find anything. So I was getting kind of frustrated. So I just got quiet and I said, you know what? I know that I am the creator of my reality. It is easy for me to achieve. It is easy for me to create the reality that I want. This comes easy, and I thank you, God, in advance. Just to kind of like let go of the anxiety and this whole idea that it was hard to do this, right? So I'll say the very first thing is map out what you want. For real, for real. Not like, oh, I just want a really nice area, great schools, and that's it. Okay, you may manifest an apartment or a house or, wherever where you have great schools and it's a decent area, but you hate the space that you live in. So map out exactly what you want to the T. So just continuing the story. All right, so I had to get myself out of that funk for a minute and just say, you know what, I can have anything I want. I am manifesting the life that I want, period. This has to take place. This place exists. I haven't seen it yet, but it's coming. So the second part, I would say, just trust the process. Trust the process. God knows that you're on a timeline. And I'll tell you this, even if you don't manifest on that specific timeline, God, the universe, whatever you may have, it will work it out where things just work in your favor. Like, let's just say you have to move in 3 weeks and then somehow, some way, your landlord contact you and say, hey, we're going to give an additional 2 weeks. This wasn't something you were expecting, but God is giving you that leadway so you're able to manifest the thing that you've asked for, right? We can't tell God how long it's supposed to take. All right, guys, I'm sorry. My friend actually is meeting me here at the avalanches so we can have I guess some coffee and something to eat for breakfast. Okay, so getting back to the story. So just trust the process, right? Trust the process. God knows exactly what you've asked for. It's not a big deal. This thing exists and God is working out the details. All right, so going along with the story. All right, so I had 3 weeks to move. You know, I calmed myself down. I stopped, you know, getting all flustered about it. And I looked again online, came across an apartment complex, and I was like, this is it. This is the place. This is where I want to move, right? So I called, set up an appointment, checked out the apartment, loved it. Everything I wanted, the space, the stainless steel appliances, the community, I mean, just everything about it was perfection. So the lady, I don't know what you call them, I guess the saleswoman, she was like, well, I have good news and I have bad news. And I said, okay, give me the good news first. And she said, well, the good news is that everything checks out. You know, your apartment will be ready for you. But the bad news is you are number 55 on the waiting list. What? Bruh. So that was like, okay, number 55. I'm thinking if there's a waiting list, I might be, you know, number 3, but number 55. So what I remembered, which I love having this concept that everything is working in your favor. The number 5 represents change. It's just what it represents. So the fact that that was amplified with another 5, I was like, oh, this is working in my favor. This is my place. I'm not going to worry about it. So I said, cool. So she said, well, you know, do you want to continue to go with this process, or do you just want to get your money back? I said, no. This is my place. I'm not worried about it. So even she looked at me crazy like, girl, you're number 55. I was like, yeah, I don't care about that. It's happening. It's already done. I let it be so. So 2 weeks passed. 2 whole weeks. I literally haven't reached out to the apartment complex. I'm really not worried at all. And I tell you one thing that I stress a lot when it comes to the law of attraction. There will always be a messenger that shows up. It never fails. Someone is going to pop up and say something that's going to resonate with you and your situation. It's going to lead you to an amazing outcome. So sure enough, I'm working with my friend Ada. Hey, Ada. And Ada says, well, hey, have you heard back from the apartment complex yet? And I'm like, no, I haven't. And I said, but I'm not worried about it. I know it's mine. And she said, no. You should just call and see where you fall in on the list. Right? So I would say the third thing is look out for the messenger. You never know who it's going to be. But just know that it's going to have something to do with the manifestation that you're looking for. So I said, okay. So I called the leasing office, and the lady says, yes, of course. I remember you. You know, I'm supposed to go down the list, you know, but give me a moment. And she put me on hold. She comes back and she says, you know what? I'm supposed to go from 1 to 55. But because you were the first to call, we have 1 apartment available. It's yours if you want it.